Do you have 100 tabs open right now on your laptop and you want free ways to organize them so your life is made much easier? Well, then this video is for you, because I'm going to go over multiple free ways, free tools that you can use to organize those tabs on your laptop to make life much easier for you when you're researching for your teaching activities or for your academic research or whatever the case may be. So hey there, this is Erica from Ever Educating, and this channel is teaching tips, tools, ideas, and resources for new college instructors. So if that's you, go ahead and click like and subscribe below. But I'm going to show you my screen so that you can see all these different ways that I can organize my tabs on my laptop. The first option is just to use Chrome and group your tabs. So this is something that you can just do automatically on Chrome. And as you can see here, I have my main Canvas page, but I have two different classes where I'm grading the group projects and the reflections. And so to make it easy to remember, well, which class is it? I can go ahead and here, right click and say, add tab to a new group. And I'm going to name this group ENC, and then let's say it's section 2, right? I can give it a certain color, let's say blue, and then there you go, right? And then I have here the reflection. So again, I'm going to add tab to the group, and I'm going to say, yes, this is tied to ENC 2, right? On the next one, add tab to a group, new group, and so this one is 3, and I'm going to make this red. And then over here, add to a new group, and this is also red. And so now I can easily see with color, okay, I want to work on my third section. Those are these two over here. I want to work on my second section. Those are these two over here. And so I have, again, it organized by color and also by name, right? So that is one option for you. And again, you can always go back in, retitle it, change the color, depending on what you want to do. You can say, hey, move the group to a completely new window. And when you do that, now you have just the one class in this one window, and you can organize it that way as well. So that's option number 1. Nothing special. Use the groups option on Chrome. The next option is also free, but this time you have to take that extra step and add it as a Chrome extension. And so it's called Workona, right? Workona Tab Manager. So you go ahead and add it to Chrome. And as you can see here, you, again, can organize your tabs using this particular tool. This one's a bit more than just the regular Chrome grouping. There's more options here. For example, you see my 2 windows that we created, right? So I can go ahead and name this how I'd like. So maybe I'm going to name it ENC2, right? And say save that. And then this one is ENC3 and save that one as well. So now I have them as workspaces, right? This new tab is actually the one that I'm currently at. But let's say I open up a new tab and I'm like, okay, well, I want to go to my main website of my campus. And then I also want to go to Purdue OWL because I'm going to do something about citations. And I also want to go to YouTube and go to a certain video, right? And so you can just kind of keep going and create new tabs. And it shows up again under that window. And so here you can say, okay, you know, this one's going to be, I'm working on the research project for this course, and it's the project for the last unit. So it's the unit 3 prep and research that I'm doing. And I say save that, right? And now they're in there as well. You can see the different sources, the different tabs, right? And so you can say done organizing. It'll ask you what you do. In my case, it's education. And then you end up in the workspace, right? And so I deleted the example ones that they came with. But as you can see here, you know, Unit 3, ENC3, ENC2, what I created. Now, what's awesome is with the workspaces, you can just click and the tabs change, as you can see on top of that screen. So you don't have to go to new windows. You just click, what am I working on at the moment? And that all the tabs will appear from that particular workspace. You'll also see it here, and you can decide, okay, I don't need this anymore. Let's go ahead and close that tab. It's not needed. Or you can bookmark it and make it a resource. And now make it public to, let's say, a team that you're sharing it with later. Then you can do it that way as well with the manage. You can also send via email or Slack if you want to send it to a certain someone, right? And then you can move the tab to a workspace if you need to, right? You can click and say, actually, I don't need it for Unit 3. I need it now for ENC2. So you can do that as well, okay? And you can see all your resources here. right? And you can move them out, right? You can say, you know what, I want to send them somewhere, I want to edit the resource, or I want to remove it from the unit, right? Or I want to close a tab completely. Notes is great too. So let's say you have just ideas about the workspaces or notes you want to take about the tabs in a certain workspace. You can create as many notes as you like and obviously have them here as well. And if you want to, you can open it in full screen, right? You can open a new tab, you can attach something to it, to your note, or you can delete it if it's no longer needed. So to show you, you click in and then you can type as you'd like, right? Or attach things as well. Now, task is not color coded. It's not colored because you can add a task, right? But there's like an extra extension for task because as you can see here, when I click my task, it says, hey, do you want to add the extension? I use Trello, so I'm not going to use Workana for this purpose, but just in case you do want to, you can add certain tasks, assign them a workspace, and you can see them here, right? You can add a due date to it, an attachment, you can edit it, and when it's done, you go ahead and say, hey, that's finished, right? And you'll be erased from it, and you can decide to undo that if that was a mistake. Okay, and you do see the tasks down here as well, right? That hide that I made, but it's not something that you actually see under here. You only see the high one. So you do have to click here in order to see the other tasks, unless you add the extension. But again, I don't want to add too many extensions if I'm not going to use them. And in this case, I use Trello. Okay, and if you don't know what Trello is, I have videos about that. I'll link below. And so this is another option, right? So again, completely free, just an extension. And so this works really well because it just allows you to move in between all your tabs, all your projects super fast. You can add resources that you share with people. You can create notes when you're project planning, and it's all in one dashboard that's easy to access. And on Windows, at least, in case you're not aware, in order to see this when you're not using it, you would just go to your extensions and then it will show all your extensions that you have for Chrome, and you click the Workana one. When you're done, you can go ahead and close a workspace. You can archive it. You can also add more information, add a description of your workspace, duplicate it, move it somewhere, right? But in my case, I keep it pretty simple, and then just archive it and then delete permanently. Okay, so you can archive in case you want to double check later on. You're not sure if you should delete it, but for me, I like keeping it clean, so I permanently delete if I know I'm not going to use it again. As far as the section creation goes, you can just go plus and say new section, right? And then this section, for example, can potentially be all of your workspaces tied to one course, right? Or it can be a section tied to a certain project, right? And that can make it easy as well, right? And then when you want to, you can just add a new workspace and say, okay, well, unit 4, create it, and then go from there and start adding tabs. So that is a really quick overview of Workana. If you want like a slower tutorial, let me know. I can create a video specifically about this particular extension as well. Now, if you already have Trello and you don't want to add another Chrome extension to your computer, then Trello can work for this for tab organization. It just involves a few more steps, right? It's not as user-friendly. But to show you what I mean here, here's my dissertation board, which has a board for each different chapter, right? So I can actually click here and go to individual chapters. But overall, let's say I had, this particular list of grad school resources that I needed to remember. And so what you can do is you can create a list of your projects, right? So it can be, as I had there, ENC 2 and ENC, 3 and Unit 3, right? I can just have these lists and then add the cards, and the cards would be my tabs, right? As a reminder of what resources that I'm using. So in this case, if I go here, graduation services info, and I click on it, I just added the tab to the description. And so I can just click from here and go automatically to that page. And so I can go back and say, okay, I want to open up my other tab, and there that one is. And so now I can just use Trello to go, okay, here's that list, that project I'm working on today. Let's open all the tabs on this list, right? Or the ones that are relevant to this part of the project. And it opens up super easily. So using Trello can be another way of having this organization for your projects. But again, it does involve opening up Trello, going to each card, clicking on the link. So it depends on what your preference is. Click like and subscribe if you found this video helpful and you want to make sure not to miss more. I've linked below some other resources that might interest you. And if you have your own tips for tools to try out, please do let me know in the comments below.